Little Sam Helper.
People of the Earth, welcome back to Primetime with Taff and Phil. We're doing a new format, 15 to 20 minutes, rapid fire, 5 topics. It's the Christmas special too. Philip White, how you doing?
Oh, I'm just best day ever, Taff. Best day ever.
Best day ever. Heck yeah. It's
Yeah.
also
Yeah.
what Philip White might call a guest appearance on the show, but this is really
It
my
is.
return, getting me up to speed. It's game time. So
It is. It is.
for our
A
first
lot of
topic,
behind the scenes getting them all set up, too.
oh yeah, you should have seen the build up to this. It was incredible. First topic, we have Trevor Lawrence and the Jags. They currently sit at 11-4, 2 games left in the season, third in the AFC. If they want to win the AFC, obviously they're going to need to win their games, and Denver is going to need to lose as well as New England. Denver's the 1 seed, New England's the 2 seed. Denver's playing the Chiefs on Christmas. The Chiefs are out of the playoffs. New England is playing the Jets on Sunday, who are also out of the playoffs. And Jacksonville's playing the Indianapolis Colts, the Philip Rivers-led Indianapolis Colts at that. And they are not out of the hunt just yet. Philip White, what do you think?
I'll tell you one thing, the Colts may as well be.
I'm a
They may as
believer.
well be out of the place. I am not, but regardless, I'm very excited for Jacksonville because I called this. I called this back at the start of the year in our playoff predictions. I said the Jacksonville Jaguars would win the AFC South. They need to close it out, but they have had an amazing season. It's under new head coach Liam Cohen, under a new staff with defensive coordinator Anthony Campanile. With Trevor Lawrence, honestly, I'll say it. He's playing like a top 5 quarterback the last month. He has looked spectacular. He's looked immaculate. The acquisition of Jacoby Myers. Parker Washington leading the Jaguars in receiving yards. Not a lot of people would have expected that coming into the year. I think a lot of people would have been looking at a Brian Thomas Jr. But when we're looking at the Jacksonville Jaguars, the entirety of their defense, everything that their defense as well. Their defense is a shocking addition to this team, not just being efficient offensively, but dominant defensively. They are the number 1 rush defense in the National Football League under Anthony Campanile. Who is it? Josh Hines Allen is having an incredible season as well. I mean, they're very good on all levels. Devin Lloyd has had a Pro Bowl level season at inside linebacker. They're just winning games. I think a lot of people would have said, oh, they're going to Denver. Denver's going to humble them a little bit. The exact opposite happened. They went in there, and it never really felt like a close game. It never felt like Denver had a shot in this one. Jacksonville just was all over them all day long. Won by 2 touchdowns. They need some things to go their way to get the 1 seed. But in terms of what they can do in the playoffs, I think right now, in that playoff picture, their matchup against the Buffalo Bills, give me Jacksonville, man. I think with Jacksonville's rush defense against the Buffalo Bills, front, that's winning. They win that.
I think the Bills would be a tough draw for the Jags. I want to see the Bills play the Patriots round 1, and all due respect to Drake May. Actually, we'll talk about that later. But with Jacksonville, to me, I don't know if they beat the Bills, if that's who they get round 1. But if they don't get the Bills round 1 and they get a Chargers or a Steelers or a Houston Texans, I think that they win that wild card matchup. And to me, when you look at those top 3 seeds in the AFC right now, Denver, New England, and Jacksonville kind of came out of nowhere, for me at least, and look like the most complete team. And I think could win the AFC. Right now, to me, Denver's good, New England's good, but New England had a cupcake schedule. Denver, they did put up 33 points in a quarter. I was going to say they can rely on their defense every now and then, and Bo Nix can be, I don't know. Bo Nix is a bit of a hot and cold guy, but I like Jacksonville or the Bills coming out of the AFC, man. Lawrence has 15 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, 1,338 yards in the last 5 weeks. And, dude has just been balling.
Yeah, and the The reason why I think if they face Buffalo today, they win is because Buffalo is so dependent on their running game to generate offense. I mean, they would need Josh Allen to play hero ball against a defense that's been also a ball hawking unit. Like in the beginning of the year, they've been forcing turnovers and they really haven't stopped since. So you're asking a lot out of James Cook and Josh Allen against what has been a dominant rush defense to consistently produce results on the ground. When like even against Cleveland this past weekend, they kind of disappeared a little bit. They were not fully like they dominated rushing the ball in the first half, and then they just struggled in the second half to continue moving the football down the field and putting Cleveland away because Cleveland was in that game up until the very end. If you're not putting complete games together against bad teams or good teams for that matter, you're gonna struggle against a team that is as complete as the Jaguars feel right now.
All right, on to the next topic. We've got the Panthers road to the playoffs. As you know, one of my favorite teams. You know, the Jets, the Eagles, the Panthers, the Cardinals kind of fell off a little bit. Now, the Panthers, man, their simplest route to the playoffs, they're coming off a great win against divisional rival Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, where the Panthers improved to 8-7 and the Buccaneers fell to 7-8. 2 games left in the season. This next week, the Panthers play Seattle and the Bucs play Miami. The simplest route to the playoffs that would clinch a berth for the Panthers would be a win against the NFC leading Seattle Seahawks and a Bucs loss against the eliminated from the playoffs Miami Dolphins, which would be nice for the Panthers fans, but the realistic path is that next week the Panthers and the Bucs square off again in the final game of the season, and that is essentially a playoff game. You'll be able to catch that January 4th. Philip White, you had your doubts, but tell me, permitting the simplest path for the Panthers doesn't happen and it comes down to that final matchup in week 18. Who wins that game and why to you?
It really depends on what version of the Panthers we get. Because I think of any team this year, they are the absolute Jekyll and Hyde of the NFL. They can come out one day and beat the LA Rams at home. Then they can go on the road to the New Orleans Saints and drop a turd right in the middle of the road. And listen, they're not. I don't think. Listen, this is like, don't get it twisted. This is a fun little team to watch. But this division is. This division's a wash, okay? It really is. It's one of the it is by far the weakest division in the NFL. Like, it just is. With the Bucs starting hot and completely fading. New Orleans, if you're Carolina, I want to trust you. I do. But 2 things are holding me back. Number 1, first off, your inability to beat the New Orleans Saints. And secondly, the inconsistency of Bryce Young week to week. I don't know which version of Bryce I'm getting. I could be getting the Bryce that's elusive in the pocket and able to make big throws. I could also get the Bryce that goes 1 for 9 in the first half and the team is down 24. I don't know what version of Bryce Young I'm going to get. And he's going to be the guy that needs to go win the game. He's going to need to be the guy. Because I don't think Tampa is going to show up in a rematch with veteran players like Levante David and Mike Evans. Because when they lost against Atlanta on Thursday night, I think there was definitely a sense of frustration. And there's definitely a sense of frustration right now for the Bucs. I think they're going to take out a lot of that against the Miami Dolphins. And they're going to want to close out the regular season strong at home with a win against the Carolina Panthers. If you want to go in and win that game, it has to be Bryce Young needs to step up and go win it. It's just that, because you have the other pieces to do it.
Yeah, to your note on the Bucs feeling frustrated, I mean, I'm sure the Dolphins don't mind as a team that's already eliminated from the playoffs and just wants a good pick. The Bucs as a team that was slated in Super Bowl discussions when the year started, oh my God. It's going to be brutal when they play Miami. To me, if I were a betting man, taking the Bucs to win that game against Miami might be the easiest bet of this entire football season, because they've got to be pissed after losing to the player after what they consider to be the lowly Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I almost
Right.
guarantee, my heart wants a Dolphins win and a Panthers win against Seattle, but the odds are the exact opposite happens, and it comes down to two 500 teams playing against each other to clinch that division. But for me, I mean, I'm always gonna take the fun team, man. Give me Rico Dowdle, give me Bryce
Oh my
Young,
god.
give me Xavier Legette, and the Carolina Panthers, man. Come
I
on.
will say, you were wrong. You were slightly off on one thing. That's not the easiest bet of the NFL season. The easiest bet of the NFL season was to bet that the Jets were going to miss the playoffs at the start. That
No,
was the
you
easiest bet
you
by
had
far.
the Jets making the playoffs when the year started, man.
I don't
Or
think so.
close
I
to
have
it.
going 8-9. I'm going 8-9 or 9-8, which was sadly it was just crazy that was an overestimation into what honestly really shouldn't have been. I don't know what to tell you, man. They really had some fool's gold week one. They sold a lot of fool's gold week one.
Well, yeah, we can get to that later on because, like, dude, yeah, Justin Fields fooled everybody. But speaking of the Jets, I feel like this guy is going to be on your coaching carousel. Our third topic is the coaching carousel.
A
Man,
coaching hot seat, even.
coaching
I was
hot
gonna
seat.
say definitely a coaching hot seat.
I'll say, well, tell me before I say my piece on who I'm going to talk about. Who's on the coaching carousel for you? Who's on the
So
hot
I
seat?
think, I think there are 8 guys this year. Well, first let's start with the 2 teams that are gonna be looking for head coaches. We got the New York Giants and the Tennessee Titans, who have already fired their coaches. They're going to be looking for new guys. I've heard Marcus Freeman out of Notre Dame being thrown around as a possibility. Marcus Freeman's in coaching for the New York Giants. And of course, we know that the Titans, they're going to be looking for a head coach for Cam Ward. Of all the teams, I think there are at least, these are the ones I would fire to, like, either today or end of season, whichever. But I think at this point, these are the coaches I'd have fired end of season. Cincinnati Bengals, you need to fire Zach Taylor. Cleveland Browns are probably going to fire Kevin Stefanski. I'm kind of 50-50 on that, but I at this point, I would probably say, yeah, go ahead and fire him.
I agree.
Say Raiders. I would move off Pete Carroll. I would just say this didn't work. It was a weird thing. I would move off Pete. Miami. Do not keep McDaniel. Just do not.
Yeah.
Don't fall into the pit trap. I wouldn't keep McDaniel. Falcons, Raheem Morris. Get that man off that team. I am not having Raheem Morris in there. Like, those are the 5. There's the 7. There's one more. Cardinals. Jonathan Gannon. Get him out of the building. I would reset at head coach. The last final talking point of all those coaches would be fired. They'll leave 8 positions open, which is kind of a lot.
That is.
I would also say there should be, in my humble opinion, there should be a 9th one, and it is Aaron Glenn off of the New York Jets.
Yeah.
I do not believe in this man as the head coach of the Jets.
Oh, I thought you were about to say, I do not believe in this man at all.
I don't believe in this. You know what? Right now, you cannot come to a team, be quote a defensive mastermind, or be like very good at coaching defense, and your entire team doesn't have an interception the entire year through 15 games. Like, you got 2 more games left. If you don't get a pick, out the door. Out the door.
No
business.
Can't base whether or not you fire a guy off of whether or not you get it. Okay,
Off
you're
of the
basing it off
success
the
of his
first
defense?
15-2. You're making it. You're basing it off the first 15-2. I get it, but it's also this guy's first time as the head coach. If we are just as bad next season, sure, get him out of there. But I think you need to give this guy just one more season. Just one more season. Obviously, I'm not going to front and be like, oh, yeah, this has been good. The defense has been exactly what I expected. You can't lie. You can't make it up. We've had no turnovers all year. It's ridiculous. And, yeah. But with Aaron Glenn, I think you give him another shot for the next season. But like you were saying with Zach Taylor, Pete Carroll, well, I'll say Zach Taylor with Cincinnati, Pete Carroll with the Raiders, Mike McDaniel in Miami. It feels like those projects are most definitely over. You need some form of change with the Bengals and Miami because those are 2 teams with talent on them. You need to, like, those teams are too talented to be missing the playoffs as hard as they did. And with Pete Carroll on the Raiders, yeah, that felt like a Marshawn Lynch on the Raiders at the end of his career type moment. And yeah, what were the Raheem
the game's
Morris.
passing by.
Also, the Raheem Morris
Morris
experiment feels over.
It's too much talent to be losing that game, games like that, and then starting to win when you're out of the playoffs. Like that should mean nothing. Once you're out of the playoffs, I don't think the wins you accumulate should be doing anything to help you. Like right now, with what Mike McDaniel's been doing, like dude, yeah, you won games when it didn't matter, but like you had to go to Pittsburgh and your team looked bad. Like I think Miami's in complete rebuild. I think Atlanta's just gonna need a new head coach and try to figure out what they have in Michael Penix. But I need to circle this back to New York because it's not just the fact that Aaron Glenn was bad this year. It's the fact that if Aaron Glenn is not I'm not taking a chance on a guy who we don't know is good. Like right now, all I can see is what I know. Right now, Aaron Glenn is not a good coach. He inherited a defense from Robert Saleh. Robert Saleh, say what you will about Robert Saleh, he had coached a good defense.
Yeah.
The offense had its struggles. That's not on him. That was the roster that Aaron Glenn inherited, and that defense has significantly regressed since he's been hired. So as a result, you've taken something that was actually possibly the best feature on the Jets and now looks like one of its worst features and also needs retooling and rebuilding again. And if you have that guy in the room and you don't trust him as your head coach to be making first-round draft picks, that you just traded away your cornerstones on defense to go out and rebuild the roster, then why take a risk on somebody that is not a proven head? Like, why not consider a guy who's proven he can get a roster to a winning record or some sort of stability like a Mike McCarthy? Why not at least consider that option as opposed to Aaron Glenn, who has so far proven to me nothing?
Well, Aaron Glenn, he said yesterday, he hit us with the Dutch Vanderland and said, guys, this is paraphrasing. He said, guys, I know that this season was not what we had hoped for, and this is going to be a long road. But we know what we need to do, basically. And the plan is set. The plan is in motion. And who am I to deny a man his plan? What's one more year? Like, are we really in a hurry to? I mean, come on, give him a shot. I think we just give him a shot.
If you give him a shot, so you go in what is? I guess my question then is, what does he need to do in year 2 to keep his job?
I think for starters, we need to get some turnovers. We need to have a defense that looks competent. We need to have a good draft, and I would like 7 wins. Some form of continuity. Because we're staring down the barrel of 3 or 4 this year. Like you smile, really 7? Yeah, really 7. You can't make it happen all at once. All
right, let me ask you a different question then before you continue. If let's say fine at the end of the year you're 7-10, what do you need to be by mid-season for Aaron Glenn to keep his job? Because I think 500. If you're by week 10, he needs to be 5-5
games. 4 and 4.
Okay, 4 and 4 games. Okay, interesting.
But, oh my God, no! Because looking at it like that, I mean, you still have 9 games after that, and you go 3-6 in your second 9 games.
That's what I'm saying.
That would have me looking at Aaron Glenn ooh. All right, yeah, we're actually gonna bump that total to 8. 8 games. We need to go 8-9 next year, or else he's out of there. Also, I think the Jets need to sign a veteran quarterback and draft Fernando Mendoza. That's another story, though.
Well, do you get him over the Raiders? That's what we'll have to find out and see.
And the fourth topic, playoffs missing many familiar faces. And is it good for the league? We're missing guys like Jackson Mahomes. Wow. Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson.
Dude, if Jackson Mahomes was a quarterback in the NFL, it'd be worse than Shador. It'd be worse than Shador by a landslide if he was a quarterback.
No. I mean, Patrick missed the playoffs this year, man. Yeah, we're missing Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, and Joe Burrow this year, which our familiar faces. Josh Allen still made his way into the playoffs, but that's 3 of what we consider the big 4 of quarterbacks. Well, okay, Jackson isn't all the way out, but we can kind of presume that the Ravens are going to be missing the playoffs. The quarterbacks, some of the quarterbacks that are confirmed in the playoffs are Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, the biggest name of everybody I'm about to mention. And then we have Drake May, who is a bit of a meme, but Phil thinks is fraudulent, and I can kind of agree. Drake May of the New England Patriots, of course, who are the 2 seed in the AFC. Sam Darnold of the Seattle Seahawks, who lead the NFC, who's had a great year. Then Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Justin Herbert of the Chargers, Caleb Williams of the I almost said the Chiefs, the Caleb Williams of the Bears, Matt Stafford of the Rams. He's like, 38 years old. And then Jalen Hurts of the Eagles. Now, I kind of rock with it. I mean, I think, I'll say, missing Patrick Mahomes, that's kind of the big thing because, I will say, ratings-wise, we put good for league down there. I think ratings-wise, it isn't good missing Patrick Mahomes because, every league does better. Every show does better. Any form of entertainment does better when you have a guy to hate. And yeah, I'm a massive Patrick Mahomes hater, but honestly, I'm just gonna bask in it right now, man. I'm happy he's out of there. Joe Burrow, I'm sad about. My preseason prediction was he was gonna make the playoffs. He was gonna will his team to the playoffs. He got hurt, but it did not happen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Phil, what do you think?
Well, first of all, not to disrespect Joe Burrow, but is he even a familiar face in the playoffs if he's missed it the last 3 years?
That's true. I mean, he's one of the big 4 or 5. If you include Jalen Hurts.
No,
Joe Burrow, you can't deny that Joe Burrow is one of the most exciting talents to watch in football.
I don't deny that. I also think sometimes, what was it? The game again, even before congratulations. Joe Burrow was so great to watch against Miami. I don't know if you watched him against Baltimore the week before. They were shut out 24-0. I don't know, man. I wouldn't say there's excuses that are being made for him, but at a certain point, I think you could even argue it's an entirely different topic, but I think at some point it is possible that the relationship in Cincinnati is just faltered between the quarterback and the franchise to a certain degree. I would imagine, especially with what he's been saying over the past month about not having fun.
I was gonna say, yeah, he said he's not having fun anymore, and last time I remember a player saying that, it was Odell Beckham Jr., right? And that was...
Yeah, I want to say it was either when it was a Brown. I would imagine if it was... It's the state of Ohio, man.
I'm pretty sure he said it on the Giants, if I remember correctly.
That's
and
crazy.
Then he got shifted to the Browns. Maybe...
man. He thought he didn't like his life before. He definitely didn't like it then.
Yeah. Maybe if Burrow doesn't like it in Cincinnati, they'll ship him to Cleveland. And if Shador doesn't work out.
Dude, there's no way they would send him to Cleveland to watch a division rival have to play him twice a year, dude. I would not want that to happen.
That would be.
I wouldn't if I'm Cincinnati. It'd be so malpractice of the Bengals to send Joe Burrow interdivision. That you'd be throwing.
That would be a very Cleveland Browns move by the Bengals.
Yeah, you just become the Cleveland Browns at that point.
Indeed.
But in terms of... Wait, hold on.
Wait, what are you going to say?
I had one more thing to say. Thing to say on that. In regards to whether or not it'll be good for the playoffs, I think it is good. I think it's actually, you know what it's going to do? It's not necessarily great for entertainment value. What it is great for is people not overpaying quarterbacks. I think that... because the quarterback market is ballooning, and we needed a season like this to convince people that you don't need to spend a lot of money on the quarterback. Look at the 1 seeds right now. The 1 seeds are, right now, rookie Bo Nix and Sam Darnold on an affordable contract. So, this needs to, take effect, where we need quarterback prices to go down. We need to start they cannot be to the point where, Tua Tagovailoa is a top 5 quarterback. Joe Burrow's
Yeah.
a top 5 quarterback, missing the playoffs. The only guy I think that's like top to Dak Prescott,
I was
$60
about to
million a
mention
year,
him. He
out
signed
of the playoffs.
Is he still the biggest contract in
I
football
think
history?
per year, for a quarterback, it's like 60 mil. Like it is, it's too much. It's too much. You need to be able to build more of your roster, and that's also quarterback. That's paying that much for a wide receiver. You're paying like 20 mil for a wide receiver now. You're paying a lot of money for a big time pass rusher, right? Like Dallas's big three basically got broken up because they couldn't afford them all. Like they couldn't afford Micah and Dak and CD, and as a result, they had to move Micah away, and they're mediocre. They were mediocre this year, so. Just a trade for Quinn and Williams, like another big contract. So,
Oh, that's another thing. Quick side note before we get into our players of the week. Everybody was clowning on the Jets for trading Sauce Gardner and Quinnen Williams, and they're like, "Oh my God, they're gonna make the teams they're on so much better." The Cowboys that Quinnen Williams ended up on, and the Colts that Sauce Gardner ended up on, are both the Cowboys are out of there. The Colts are presumably also missing the playoffs. And Sauce Gardner wasn't even playing last game. So, I mean,
very true.
3 first-round picks for that. I mean, obviously they're great talents, but I mean, I think the
Like
Jets
long term, yeah.
Jets made a good move. I like it.
As long as you hit on the first round picks, that's what matters.
And we
gotta hit on those picks.
Hey, Aaron Glenn's never gotten a chance to draft. Aaron Glenn's never gotten a chance to draft before.
He drafted this offseason. I'm just saying he drafted for these rookies, so I don't know. We'll have to see. Yeah, he was the head. Yeah, that's how it works. When you hire a head coach, you hire him before the draft. So yeah,
I thought he got
this
hired
draft
after
class
the
is
draft,
his first
but
draft.
whatever. Aaron Glenn, that was his first time drafting. Just like this is his first season. The second time is going to be so much better.
Yeah, he's coached 15 games as a head coach and still couldn't get one pick.
Hey man, he's not out there. He's not suiting up.
But he's coaching those guys.
Player of the week. Philip White, who's your player of the week?
So there was a very awesome game happening at Ford Field, and there was a man, a myth, a legend, who I think personally made the catch of the year. Kenneth Gainwell, I think, has been one of the most underrated free agency pickups for the Pittsburgh Steelers. He has like 68 catches or something coming out of the backfield. He is a great fit tandem-wise with him and Jalen Warren. Like Kenneth Gainwell, interestingly enough, is like Jalen Warren diet, and it's even more like I think he's a better receiving threat, like somehow downfield. Like he made a crazy catch on pass interference. He doesn't make that catch, Steelers don't win this game. The impact that he has had to help either whether it's blocking, helping like with chip blocks, catching the ball out of the backfield, getting some little chunk runs. Oh my gosh. I mean, I knew he had he was kind of fun a little bit at time for Philadelphia, but I think he's really blossomed into his role on the Pittsburgh Steelers as kind of a change-up back. And it's been working. And it has Aaron Rodgers looking like the old Aaron Rodgers, looking a little vintage once again. They've won the last 3 games, and if they can win in Cleveland this coming week, the last game of the season doesn't even matter. Or I guess Baltimore would lose to Green Bay too, and it also wouldn't matter. But if they can beat Cleveland in Cleveland, they don't even need to worry about Week 18. They clinch the AFC North.
Wow, that's so insane. I mean, I'll speak. I'm. I don't have any good things to say about Aaron Rodgers. I'll be excited to see who they play, who they're supposed to play in the wild card because odds are Cleveland just wants to lose that game anyway. But with Gainwell, yeah, he has been awesome. 68 catches out of the backfield this year, incredible for a back, especially when splitting the backfield. It's just awesome. And with that play he had this past week, do you know what his stats were for this past game or no?
I think that's for that full touchdown. He had what was it? He didn't carry the ball much because Jalen Warren had a lot of big runs, but even then, 9 carries for 50 yards, you're averaging 5.6 yards a pop, and then 5 catches, 78 yards and a touchdown. So you're totaling over 120 scrimmage yards.
Yeah, totally.
In a big win. Yards. I honestly thought the Lions were gonna win this game going in. I picked Pittsburgh, but I still felt uneasy about it. I felt Detroit was gonna have their chance. And listen, man, Pittsburgh came up. I mean, listen, Lions are starting to get spoon fed a little bit, trying to keep the game close. But Pittsburgh did their job, and they hold on to win the game.
Yeah. Also, how about the Lions? Another side note, but what the heck happened, man? Oh my god. I mean, also, there was no OPI at the end of that game. I was rage baiting you at the after that game, but
Right.
I'm shocked at the lack of performance in the Lions. Like, if you told me at the beginning of this season that the Bears would be the second seed in the NFC, and if that's correct, yeah,
Right now it is. Yep.
if you told
It
me at
currently
the
stood
beginning of the season that the
two
Bears
seed.
would be the second seed in the NFC and the Lions would have a 7% chance of getting in, I would say you're crazy. So yeah, I don't know what happened with
And
the Lions, but shout out to the Steelers.
you know what happened to the Lions? I'll tell you what happened to the Lions. Ben Johnson went to the Bears. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
Mm-hmm.
The impact of Ben Johnson on that team has been vivaciously felt at the end of the year. It's been, you can feel it. Like, it still like has its talent. You can clearly feel the talent of guys like St. Brown and Jahmyr Gibbs, but Ben Johnson was clearly such a big part of what was happening in Detroit, and him being in Chicago, ooh, it just can't feel good if you're a Lions fan right now.
Yeah. Ben Johnson's orchestrating some beautiful things. I'm excited about the Bears, man. And for our final topic, we've got our playoff bracket and Super Bowl winner.
Wait, Taff, who was
predictions.
your player of the week? You didn't have a player of the week?
Yeah, I do have a player of the week. I'm sorry, I was so excited about the man Caleb Williams. He's not actually my player of the week. My player of the week is Drake May of the New England Patriots.
Ugh.
And he helped your Steelers last week by beating the
I
Ravens.
get, but I will say, I was not rooting for the Patriots in that game.
Really,
I
you
was
were rooting for the
Ravens.
Ravens over the Patriots? Why?
Can't get me to root for New England, man. You just can't. You can't get me. I don't care who they add. They could add Jameis Winston to their team. I would not root for them.
With how you base like your psychology or just I guess like method of thinking with the way like you root for NFL teams and the way you think people should root for NFL teams is so based in divisional rivals with the Ravens. You were really that's probably the first time I've heard you rooting for the Ravens.
Listen, man,
that's
I
strange.
do not like New England.
Yeah, my player of the week.
I did not want Drake May win that game.
I know the Patriots were just good and it's annoying, but like, man, how about Drake May going for 380 yards, 2 touchdowns, and an interception, whatever. I don't know. It's just he's pretty fun to watch. Not as fun to watch as Caleb Williams. I enjoyed what I saw from Drake May against the Ravens, man. We're going to get into our personal playoff bracket predictions. Both conferences are missing the 4 and the 7 right now. The teams in the AFC that have made it are Denver, New England, Jacksonville, the Chargers, and Buffalo. The 4 and the 7 are missing. And Pittsburgh and Houston are presumably in for the AFC. Phil, do you agree with that? They're going to be filling the 4 and the 7?
I'm thinking so, yeah. I'm thinking that's what the playoffs is likely to look like on the AFC side. Although the seeding could be different, but those would be the 7 teams.
Yeah. And then for the NFC, also missing the 4 and the 7, we've got Seattle at the 1, Chicago at the 2, Philly at the 3, San Fran at the 5, and the Rams at the 6. And I will be taking, there's a handful of teams in the mix for this one. I'm taking the Panthers and the Packers to fill that 4 and 7. Panthers at the 4? Oh, electric.
That's crazy, man. I remember we talked like last year when like the Vikings were like had 14 wins, yet because of the way the division winners get a home game, the Vikings had to settle for like a 5 seed and play on the road. Like that's still crazy to me that like they'll give it to like a team that's probably gonna have 9 wins on the year, and you get a home playoff game. That's crazy.
Yeah. Also, I guess Phil, tell me who's filling in your NFC bracket at the 4.
I think for now I'll just stick with the Panthers and the Packers just because they're there. Like I would do this. I like predicting the playoffs as they are right now if they hold.
Let's
like,
go, man.
I need more information. I need to see what Carolina looks like against Seattle. I need more intel because if they get if they get their shit rocked, then we're gonna have a conversation.
Yeah. If that game is gonna be very telling for sure. Also, I mean, for the past handful of years, I think a lot of it had to do with the big four of quarterbacks being in the AFC. The past couple of years, the AFC looked superior. This year, I am so much more excited about that NFC playoff bracket. Like, you have, I mean, the Panthers are, like you said a fun little team. I'm going to say a fun big team. They are.
Dude, they're a little team.
I mean,
bro.
I guess physically they're little. But
I'm taller than their quarterback.
Dude, that's
I'm taller
inspirational.
than him.
What's your excuse?
Whatever.
You should go out there
What do you mean my excuse?
Yeah.
I didn't train to be in the NFL for 18 years, bro. I didn't do that. My apologies. Let me go back in time real quick.
That's hilarious. Bryce Young is just like no context. Bryce Young is 5'9". What's your excuse? Or however tall he is.
Okay, what do you want from me, dude? It's like I don't know how tall is. I think it's short. Let's go there. Bryce Young is short. Yeah, he's 5'10".
5'10".
Yeah.
Man, shout out to you, Bryce Young. I mean, representing for the short
representing
people.
for short.
You can do whatever you want.
Yeah. All right. Well,
so yeah.
I know. What do we think of these predictions? I mean, I'll tell you how I think these playoffs are gonna go right now, man.
Tell me how you think these playoffs are gonna go, and then I'll bounce off.
All right.
Oh, hello.
Let's start AFC.
Hello. Ash, do you want to say hey? Hey.
I actually can't see because the stream's been down for the last 30 minutes, but it is
Oh!
what it is.
I don't know if it's hot.
Yeah.
That's okay. Thank you. All right. Tell me how these playoffs are. Ash says, "Hey."
Hey.
Tell me how these playoffs are gonna go, Philip White.
Okay. Here's what I'm gonna tell you. If it stays this way, if these are the seedings, the Patriots would then host the Houston Texans. I like Houston in that game. The combination of Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson and Derek Stingley, especially on the back end on that defense, along with Kamari Lassiter, who makes some big plays at the other corner end. Not to mention Jalen Petrie on the back end. This Texans team has a coach that has won a playoff game each of the last 2 years, and this defense is probably the best it has looked when he has been coaching. I like Houston to go into New England and stun the New England Patriots. 3-seeded Jags versus 6-seeded Bills. I would take Jacksonville. Jacksonville's rush defense is very impressive. They, I think, stifle James Cook. I think they force Josh Allen to some passing downs that are just going to be too narrow, too tight, and Jacksonville comes away with a close win, especially with the way Trevor Lawrence has been playing. When we saw what Joe Burrow was able to do the back end of that defense, we saw Shedeur Sanders be able to get some rushing yards against that defense in critical moments. Drake May was running the ball over him. And Trevor Lawrence, low-key, been running the ball a little well this year. There's quite a few rushing touchdowns piled up.
Yeah,
I would take Jacksonville.
I'm hoping they don't get Jacksonville.
I think they might get Jacksonville. They might be ousted in the wild card. And then Chargers and Steelers is really a toss-up. I think it could go either way just because of the state of health of the Chargers O-line. But I think going on the road into Pittsburgh, I hate to I fell for it again award, but I really think this team is a little different and can win a playoff game. Like, this is different than like the 9-8 barely got in. This is a team that is actually starting to play well around the time they need to. Like, they're not playing well when they're like already have lost 6 games. They're not playing poorly when they've lost, like when they were 10-3 and then collapsed to be a pitiful 10-7. They're playing well right now, late in December, with 3 straight wins. And now they just can clinch the playoff next week. I think. Listen, man, I think this, with Aaron Rodgers playing the way he is, I wouldn't doubt it. If you're able to get enough pressure on the Chargers, Pittsburgh could win this one.
Dude, the whole time I thought you were talking about the Jags with the, like, with the, I'm finally right about him. No, dude.
I'm also finally right about the Jags, too. I'm right about
You are
both.
finally right about the Jags. With the Steelers, dude, no. The best thing about the Steelers right now is Kenneth Gainwell. DK Metcalf just punched somebody in the face. That's not playoff game winning energy.
They just won 3 games. They've won 3 games in a row.
Congrats.
They're playing very well. Again, they're playing well at this point of the year, Aaron Rodgers looks genuinely good. The Chargers' offensive line has been in shambles with no Joe Alt and no Rashawn Slater all year. Like, that's where we're at right now.
The Chargers are still a better team.
They got to go on the road in Pittsburgh for a home playoff game. I still think the Pittsburgh Steelers can win that game. It is a 50-50 toss-up. I'm rolling Pittsburgh.
I mean, I'm not going to say the Steelers can't win that game, but nah. Dude, the Chargers, I give the Chargers a 75% chance.
That's so crazy. By the way, you're talking about Justin Herbert, the man who hasn't won a playoff game his entire career. You're still talking about if man.
Aaron Rodgers is also if man. He's just
Rodgers. Hey, you can't say that about a guy who has a Super Bowl win. If you have a Super Bowl win, you can't call him if man. That's just not how it works.
For the past
There's no if.
decade plus.
There's no
man.
if.
He's
There's
been
no
if
if.
man for
It's
the past
did.
decade plus.
There's no if. It's did. He did win a Super Bowl. He has won
15
multiple
years
playoff
ago.
games. He has been an MVP multiple times. And even right now, he's played very well the last few weeks. He's part of the reason the Steelers offense is watchable. I don't know if you've seen this Steelers offense with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields and Kenny Pickett and Mason Rudolph. It's borderline unwatchable. This offense is good under him, and it's playing very well. And it's playing very well right up into the lead of the playoffs where they need to be playing well.
We'll have to see. I disagree on that on the Steelers take, but okay.
That's crazy,
in terms
man.
of the AFC playoffs, for you have the Texans beating the Patriots in round 1. I like that.
Yep.
Denver's getting the bye, right?
Yep, Denver has the bye. So then Houston would beat New England. So it would be Denver would then host Houston, and then the Jaguars would host the Steelers.
Denver hosts Houston. That's so weird. Denver hosts Houston.
That's the way
Jaguars
it goes.
host the Steelers. All right, for me, I'll humor you. I'll humor you and say the Steelers beat the Chargers.
What do you mean humor me? You make that sound like it's impossible.
I mean, no, I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm not saying it's impossible.
That's crazy. Humor me.
But
humor me.
I mean, I'm humoring you because you're a Steelers fan, and I don't believe that 39-year-old Aaron Rodgers is going to beat the Justin Herbert-led Chargers. I mean, yeah, sure.
First of all, he's 42. Get it right. Okay. He's dealing at 42.
Yeah, I don't believe the 42-year-old Aaron Rodgers is going to do this. If he ends up winning this game, oh my God, edit moment. He's
he's first up. He's 42.
Yeah, sure. I'll humor you on that. So Denver hosts Houston. Jacksonville hosts the Steelers.
Yep.
Okay. Give me a Denver-Jacksonville AFC championship. Do you agree with that?
I'd take Jags Texans.
What is up with this Texans hype train all of a sudden?
It's not a Texans hype train. It's that I don't believe in Bo Nix.
It's kind of funny how the tables have turned because now I finally believe in Bo Nix. I don't think there's any way that the Texans can put up.
I don't believe in Bo Nix against this defense
on Denver. I don't think that the Texans can put up enough points on Denver.
They don't need to.
They don't need to. It'll be a low-scoring game.
Yeah. I mean, with those pass rushers and with basically the only way Denver would win that game is try to take advantage of linebacker mismatches with their running backs. Because, bro, I like Cortland Sutton. Derek Stingley's jamming him at the line. Derek Stingley's cooking that man. That man's not getting open. I just don't know what to tell you. And listen, Houston just needs to control the clock and just stay on the field long enough. Jacksonville showed a little bit of a blueprint. Now, I don't know if Houston can pull it off. But I don't know, man. I'm kind of feeling I'm feeling frisky. I kind of like... I could see this is the first 7 seed that I could genuinely see making a decent run. And that's just a statement to how good their defense is.
You're just drinking the Steelers. Wait.
How? I said they'll play the Jags.
Oh, okay.
I said they play the Jags. I don't think the Steelers are going to beat Jacksonville. I think the Texans are going to beat Denver.
I disagree.
This is the same guy that's going to be like, man, watch Bryce Young against, the 49ers, man. He's going to cook them. What are we talking about?
Well, because if it comes down to solely a battle of who is the better quarterback, who plays the better game at quarterback, sure, CJ Stroud can definitely outplay Bo Nix. But I just don't think that happens. Denver is the better team. They have been so consistent throughout this whole season. Just give me Denver. Give me Denver. For me personally, and then Jacksonville wins. So the playoffs for you. Well, the AFC Championship for you
Jags Texans
is Jags Texans, and who wins that for you? Don't freaking say Texans, bro.
I would take Jags. I would take Trevor Lawrence and the Jags.
Okay, yeah.
I take him at home.
We have the same AFC champion. In
Wait a minute. So you would have just had Jacksonville beating Denver then?
I would have Jacksonville beating Denver. But in my world, Jacksonville also doesn't play the Bills in the first round. I think that if Jacksonville plays the Bills in the first round, it's a toss-up.
Okay. Interesting.
But yeah.
Okay.
I like a Jacksonville-Denver AFC championship. I think Denver can beat the Bills in the second round or something. But wait, no, they wouldn't be the 7th seed. I don't know, dude. But the NFC, we have, we'll say the Panthers at the 4 and the Packers at the 7. Phil, what do you think with the NFC playoffs?
So I would go, because the Packers, I don't know, status Jordan Love is up in the air with, listen, it's Malik Willis, but and with their defense, no Micah Parsons is going to impact that drastically. Chicago will, oh man, I don't know. I'll give Chicago that win. I would say Chicago would win that if presuming things go the way. I'll give Chicago a win there. They would move on to the divisional. They would beat Green Bay. Philadelphia would then host the LA Rams at the current moment. Rams would move on there. I just don't think Philadelphia's been consistent enough for me to trust them in this game.
Same.
I listen. We're a long ways away from when they beat them in Week 3, and the Rams just feel like a better, more coached, more complete team. I would take the Rams in that one. And then what? Bryce Young versus the San Francisco 49ers. Listen, we saw this matchup already. Bryce Young struggled against that San Francisco defense. I think he'd struggle again. I think Robert Saleh coaches a very good defensive front, and Brock Purdy is starting to play good football at just the right time. I think the question is if the extent of the George Kittle injury. If George Kittle's out for a long period of time, that could drastically affect their offense. But if he's healthy and good to go, then I would take San Francisco easy over Carolina.
Yeah. I'll be rooting like hell for the Panthers in that game. But I'm gonna say the Niners take that one. Also, yeah, we also forget last year when the Eagles were at their peak. I know this might not be the most relevant thing in the world, but if not for Jalen Carter getting that sack last year in the divisional round, the Rams probably win that game against the Eagles, and the Eagles don't win the Super Bowl. So yeah, I think the Rams are in a kind of boring double-digit win affair. The Rams beat the Eagles, who I love in the NFC is the Bears. I am high on the Bears, man.
Man, I am so not. I almost was thinking about giving the win to Green Bay because I don't think their wins are their point differential is utter garbage. I don't think they
win.
I understand a win's a win, but I think comparatively it's a good indicator to how realistically impressive a team is when you're looking at Chicago and their wins. Dude, okay, you beat Green Bay at home, but let's be honest. If Romeo Doubs doesn't from muffin onside kick, that game is chalked. You don't get the opportunity to even go be clutch anyway. I think the reality is shoulda, woulda, but you're not going to get that in playoffs. Teams aren't going to that's not just going to happen every single game. Teams aren't going to play down to your level. But again, also Jordan Love was missing half the game. You were playing against a backup in Malik Willis.
Yeah, how about
I understand that, but it is still it's still a team that hasn't name their. What's their you would say that win against the Packers was their most impressive win, maybe the Eagles. Those are two big wins.
Well, in terms of the on the field performance, I think that is their most impressive win. Most impressive win against a team on paper, probably the Eagles.
But I don't think, like, that's what I'm saying. That win to me is not that impressive if that's the way you needed to win the game. Because you're not going to win games by being down the entire game, getting an onside kick late, and going in to score the game-winning touchdown. It's just not. It's not an incredibly off. Like, I think they would win in a matchup like this week against a Packers team that's going to be down their best defensive player. But if you're being like there's still a chance like Green Bay just goes in and plays better defense. The Green Bay could go into Chicago, play the exact same game, recover the onside kick, and win the game in round one. Like that's a realistic outcome, despite the fact that they didn't have Micah Parsons. So it's still I want to have some sort of faith in the Chicago Bears, but I think the reality is throughout the entire season, this team is still at least 1 year away. They're not I don't think they're a team that can go on a Super Bowl run this year.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Round one right now, they would be presumably playing the Packers. And and yeah, I think they win again.
You think they would beat the 49ers?
Presuming the Niners win, I think, of course my heart says the Bears, but I think the Bears would lose a close one to the Niners in the divisional round. Just because
I agree.
I don't know. They've allowed a lot of points this year, the Bears.
They also but like look at their like beyond like honestly look at some of like they won in Cincinnati off of like a crazy Colston Loveland late touchdown. They won against Green Bay because of that onside kick, right? They've had a lot of like they've also like when the Giants came into town and were up 20-10 and just blew a lead. Like they haven't dominated teams.
Time and time again, there are teams that are just like that.
Right, but like that to me is not a Super Bowl champion. Look at Philadelphia. Philadelphia, what they do in the playoffs? They smoked like 3 out of the 4 teams they played. Good, like you need to be on a different level to be able to legitimately do that because you got to win 4 games in a row. So you have to be a certain level of above the pack. Chicago's not.
I guess so. I don't think it's totally out of the question though. Like I would like I said, the 75% chance of the Chargers beating the Steelers for me personally, I give the Niners a 75% chance of beating the Bears. But you can't count I don't know, you can't count them out. I know you're not fully counting them out, but man, I will take I think the NFC Championship is going to be Seattle-Chicago.
I disagree. I think it's going to be.
Who do you
It's
think?
going to be 49ers. It's going to be 49ers Rams.
The Rams actually. Yeah, I'm sorry. The Rams would be playing presumably. Seattle would be playing presumably the Rams because the Rams are playing Philly. Philly is. I'm sorry. Philly doesn't deserve a playoff win this year. Give me the Rams. Give me Rams over Seattle for a Rams-Chicago NFC Championship. And
I would take the Rams.
You have Rams-Niners. I have Rams-Chicago. Are you taking the Rams over the Niners too?
I would take the Rams over the Niners or the Bears.
All right. So, wow. We're looking at Jags Rams or Jags Bears Super Bowl. You think
the Bears go all the way to the Super Bowl this year?
I think the Rams out professional the Bears. You know, I like the zaniness of the Bears, the kind of chaos of the Bears. But yeah, the Rams, Sean McVay is too damn solid to let himself lose to a team as new and flashy and kind of flimsy as the Bears. Yeah, so wow, we pretty much agree. A Rams-Jaguars Super Bowl is what we are looking at.
Yeah.
I
mean, the only other thing I could think is potentially Rams-Bills because and I'll be honest with you, that's probably the Super Bowl I want. Because I want to see the 2 best quarterbacks, man. And I think those are the 2 best quarterbacks in these playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Also, yeah, I mean, I picked the Jags based on my brain, but yeah, I mean, as 2 people that were born pretty much raised in upstate New York, in Bills country. Oh my God, please. Josh Allen, Sean McDermott, do it. Do it. Win the game. You don't even have Patrick Mahomes in your way anymore. Come on.
Yeah, that's the biggest problem too for the Bills is that this is by far the best chance that they may ever have.
That's so scary.
Yep.
Uh,
Here we go. Here
right.
we go.
People of Earth, thank you for watching this episode of Primetime with Taff and Phil. We will see you next week. Have a Merry Christmas and a Happy Holidays. When you're watching this, it will be Christmas Eve at the earliest. So enjoy your holiday. And if it's past the holidays, enjoy your day. And go Bills. Philip White, do you have any messages?
Yeah! Aaron Rodgers is going to beat the Chargers, folks.
No!
Aaron Rodgers is going to beat the Chargers. If man is cooked, here comes...
No. When was the last time Aaron Rodgers won a playoff game? Was Justin Herbert in the league?
Yeah. It was his rookie year, but yeah.
His rookie year. I mean, dude, Justin Herbert's going to win that game. We'll see.
I mean, look, guys. One guy was good.
Enjoy
One
your
guy's a
food.
four-time MVP.
Enjoy your food. Watch the Super Bowl. Watch all the football before the Super Bowl. And yeah, I'm very hungry. I'm going to eat some food. And yeah, have a fantastic night.
Bye.
Bye.